We are here. Mercy, blessings, and peace. Peace, protection, and joy. Peace, protection, and joy. I'm going to say some things that might seem difficult to comprehend as far as your religious context are concerned. But for your own safety and the safety of others and those around you, I suggest strongly that you learn the rosary and you pray it. It was given for a reason. The Catholic Church does not own it. It's available for everybody. The beads are available for everybody. If you don't know what it is, you can look it up. For those of you that are on YouTube, you can Google it. You can find out. For those of you reading the magazine, the rosary's information is available in religious bookstores. Please get one for yourself for the protection of those around you. What's going to begin to occur in October is what they call the Fest, F-E-S-T. And it's not a beer drinking party. It's the after effect of a beer drinking party. Wishing you hadn't drank so much beer. That's the effect you're going to feel in October. A hangover. And it's going to be a religious hangover. Because you're going to realize you haven't prayed enough. And you haven't thought about God, the Father, nor the Mother, nor Jesus, nor the angels, nor those that are really guarding you and protecting you. You haven't given thanks. That part is going to come upon you in October. The unthankfulness of yourself. When you think you deserve thanks from everybody else, you're going to find out it's not the case. This is what you call the releasing of the chains of subjugation. Huh? You've been under tyranny's control for too long. You have. The Virgin Mother is the one who's influenced your current president, President Trump. She's the one who supported and got him into the election process and provided his presidency. She is who is behind him. I'm telling you that. I'm not the only one that has said it. You can look it up. So pay attention. This world is in great difficulty. If you've noticed the weather around the world, there are many floods, many landslides, many people are being killed by lightning out of nowhere. You're being prepared for what do you call the acknowledgement of the sun? We're going to call that the acknowledgement of the sun. Not S-U-N, S-O-N. The Master Teacher. And the return is processed by the complete removal of obstructions to the teachings. Right now, you have been experiencing the hand of Satan upon you. And the darkness that's going to come about is going to need to be understood to prayerfully get through it. You're going to need the prayers. I have been recommending Psalm 6. This is Auriel, by the way. A-U-R-I-E-L. I've been recommending Psalm 6 for a very long time. It's only 10 verses. And the 10th verse asks for your enemies to be ashamed suddenly. It's a protection verse in the astral. For those of you that are not aware of what's going on in the astral, it's a protective device for you. It's a cloak. Huh? Because shame is a big thing out there. Down here it doesn't seem to be anything, but it is. You're going to need to understand yourself now as an independent unit of God consciousness. It's not your will. It's His will be done here. You're going to have to find out where that is within you. You have your left brain, you have your right brain. In the center, there's a unique diamond, we're going to call it, between the pineal gland and pituitary gland. It's connected directly to the entity that's in the cave of your heart chakra, the real you, the one that's afraid to peek out because it knows of the ignorance and the destruction that's in what you would term your physical world, the violence and the distortion. You've seen it. You're seeing it. You're being influenced by it, whether you know it or not, because the minute you look at it, you have an effect. It has an effect upon you. So you've got to have calmness and peace. You're going to need to look at nature, the trees, for we're going to call it assistance. Yeah, you're going to need to get some plants in your house to produce oxygen for you. Yeah, like lavender, snake plant. Yeah, Those plants produce oxygen, take the carbon monoxide out of the air. They're helpful. They're helpful. You're going to need to recluse yourself. By that I mean get into your home, straighten things out, become very little more precise and unified in what you're doing. Don't watch so much of your television. It's influencing you, and not in the correct way. Some of your programs are extremely violent, and there has a condition of reaction within you because the brain processes that are working now are from the old establishment regime, subjugation. The new processes is freedom of understanding, freedom of safety, freedom of sense of joy, freedom of peace, pleasure, freedom of being protected, freedom of knowing you're cared for. You're not going to want for anything. It is there, just what you need, not an overwhelming munch, so you be greedy and hoard things. This is for your advice, my dear friends. There's a conclusion coming to this experimental design of the human condition with the ignorance of God included. By that I mean you were told devil's a myth. It's not. It's very real. And that's the influence you've been under for a very long time. You're going to have to understand some things. Primarily the importance of your inner spiritual development for your own safety and for the safeties of others. And by safety I mean the ability for you to think calmly, without reaction, and adjust to the presence of the space that you are in. You're noticing when you go to your stores the confusion. You know that you can feel it just driving by some stores. Your big supermarkets and things, the energies are in there. They're trying to influence you. You've got to pay attention to yourself. If you need to go to a store and do your shopping, which you do, you'll need to make a list so you get what you need from the time that you spent in your home preparing to get what you need, and not go shopping to just up and down the alleys and picking what you think you need at that moment, because it's not your mind that's there. You're working with a conglomerate mind that's trying to influence you in sales and all of this nonsense, instead of the protection of your divinity, or is the supporting of your divinity. And you people are working into this thing with your foods. You're becoming aware, yes. Are you aware of what you're thinking when you're cooking them? Are you aware of what you're thinking when you're preparing to cook them? Are you aware of what you're thinking when you're eating them? Are you aware of what you're thinking after you ate them? You better become aware, because all things are going to become obvious in the distortion of the music that you think you're playing within. There are divine influences now that are trying to assist the human condition, yet the ignorance of the human condition is denying the influence of the divine condition. You are divine. What do you think wakes you up in the morning? Yourself? What do you think takes you in your journeys at night when you sleep? Yourself? No. This is being instructed, and you've got to look at the conditions that you are in and the instructions you are receiving and proceed. You're going to have to understand what thought comes into the right side of the brain, what's the machinations there, the purpose of it coming there, what thoughts come into the left side of the brain, what's the machinations there and the purpose there, and what thoughts are processed in the doing of the actions of the thought from the middle portion of the you of you. Some of them are not your desires, but some of them are the desires of your guides trying to assist you in the performance of tasks, so you have the feeling of accomplishment when your day is done. The feeling of accomplishment of doing a task from day to day is what keeps you, considered worthy to continue walking upon the planet. You've done something and you have a sense of accomplishment. You're going to need to understand this in the manner of the self, not someone else's accomplishment. What you did, so you can have a breath of safety in your sleep moment at night when you reflect upon your day. And then you have you're prepared for the next day, the tasks. It has been said by others, the first thing you should do is make your bed when you get up. You've accomplished one thing for the day. and then the next thing, and then the next thing, and the next thing. It's the accomplishment that gives the success within the self of identifying itself as a self. You have done something. Simply making a bed that you got out of and were used the night before gives you a sense of accomplishment. You have done that. We are through.